Hello. I'm Alex Rockwell. This is the 7th installment in a series of talks with my former teacher, James Piorkowski, on his tools for productive practicing, a collection of strategies and techniques you can apply in your practice and study of your instrument to ensure that you are solving problems and achieving your goals. You can download a PDF of the full list of tools on Jim's website, link in the description. And without further ado, mentalization.
So mentalization is my term for a combination of things. Visualization, which is quite self-explanatory, not having the guitar in your hands, but being able to see in your mind where the fingers are lying, in the left hand on the fretboard, on the strings, which finger, right hand, what if it's at the thumb, is it the index, is it playing rest stroke or free stroke, seeing all of that stuff and hearing it. So it's audiating at the same time. Mm-hmm. And so encompassing the physical and the aural aspects of what we eventually play without the guitar is really a terrific asset to strive for. There was a movie that came out in the 1980s, early 80s, called 33 short films. I think it was 32 short films on Glenn Gould. And
I'll Google it. 32.
I think it was, yeah. Glenn Gould was, for those who don't know, was
32 short films about Glenn Gould.
That's yeah. It. And Glenn Gould was an amazing pianist from Toronto, mm-hmm. Canada. And he's famous for his interpretation of Bach, particularly. Mm-hmm. He did the Goldberg variations twice in his career, early on and then at the very end. And I love his playing. I think he's just mystical.
Yeah.
And there's one film, and this is actually what inspired me to embrace mentalization. One of these short films. So the story about Glenn Gould is for years he performed in public and then he didn't. He stopped performing in public. He just recorded. Mm-hmm. He loved the recording studio. He did lots of radio stuff for the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, CBC. But he was at a concert and he's in the green room and there's a piano there for the warm-up. Mm-hmm. And it's, I don't know, something like 10 minutes before his concert, his recital. And he lifts the lid of the piano, to expose the keys, and he starts walking around the piano. And he's sort of singing and mumbling and humming, and as an audience, we can hear the piano music that he's hearing in his head.
Oh, in
and
the
he's
movie,
walking
yeah.
around. He's walking around the piano, and his fingers are moving, and he's practicing. He's hearing the piece. He's warming up. Mm-hmm. If he does that for a minute or two, and you hear a knock on the door, Mr. Gould, it's time to come out. And he closes the piano lid and he walks out. Yeah. I love that scene. I need to watch it again. I haven't watched it in a long time.
Yeah.
And I thought about that. And when I'm in the green room now, waiting to go out, that's mainly what I do. I mean, I'll play a bit, just to get the blood flowing.
Get the fingers moving, yeah.
But I'm going through, a lot of times I'll sing, I'll do my fixed do solfege as I'm going through the mentalization, mm-hmm. and seeing everything. And to practice that, you have to start really early, and well before you're going to do it in a concert, because you want to be really confident about that. You don't want to be doing that in the green room. If you can play something from memory, you don't want to be doing that in the green room and all of a sudden get stuck. I don't know where I am. That's very troubling.
Yeah.
You want to have done it many times from the beginning to the end.
Yep.
Sometimes at night, I have my score next to my bed on the bedstand, and I will go through the piece like that without singing because I'll wake my wife up, right? But I'll just, I'll be hearing everything inside, internally, seeing it. And if I get stuck, take my phone and look at the measure. Oh, yeah, that's an A flat right there, yeah. And then redo it, And when I do that before I go out, I'm so centered into what I'm going to play. Like, I'm really the music is in me and I'm into the music. Mm-hmm. And it's astounding how it works, how effective it is. There was one time, I live in Buffalo, and it's an hour's drive to Fredonia. And I was going down for a recital. Maybe you were there, I don't know. I can't remember what year it was. There was a snowstorm in Buffalo. My wife we left like 3 hours in advance. So 8 o'clock recital, we left at 5, we left Buffalo. Yeah. And it was really bad weather. And it was rush hour leaving the city. So the traffic was already backed up. And now we got this snowstorm.
Yeah.
Thankfully, she was driving, and I'm sitting in the car, and I'm mentalizing. I'm just, eyes are closed, got my scores. I'm going through the whole recital in my mind, the whole thing. We get to the recital hall 7 minutes before 8 o'clock.
Oh, my God.
That's it,
Yeah.
And so I walk out on stage, and there's the audience, and I explained. I said, we just got here. Traffic, weather. I'm going to start 5 minutes late. I need to let my guitar acclimate, get warmed up.
Yeah.
I need to acclimate,
Yeah.
And I played for a brief couple of minutes just to tune and get my fingers acquainted with the guitar again. And I walked out, and I remember that recital going rather well.
Yeah.
And the fact that I was able to do that in that car on the way, if I didn't have that opportunity and if I didn't have that ability to mentalize it, I think I would have not played well.
Yeah.
But having that confidence that I could go through the whole thing and see everything and then just walk out and play it was just an amazing experience. Mentalization, again, we talked about being frustrated when you're trying something new. Mm-hmm. It certainly falls into that category. But even if you get little bits, like first 4 measures or last 4 measures, you'll start to see how much more aware of the piece you are than you were before. And so, if you're going to eat a large meal, you take one bite at a time. So you take the whole piece and you break it down, I don't know, maybe 4 measures at a time, depending on the complexity of the piece. Maybe it's just 2 measures. Maybe it's 1 measure. And accomplish that. And then add a couple or whatever. And
maybe the size of the chunks, it changes over time as your familiarity and understanding.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Of course. Mm-hmm. And all of these things are adaptable and should be adaptable to different kinds of repertoire.
Yeah.
But I love that. I just love that. If I'm driving, like to Ohio to perform or something, I'll do that a lot while I'm driving. On my scores, my passenger seat, and I'm going through the piece in my head, and it's just very, it's affirming. That's a good word. You really affirm that you know your stuff, and that, when you want to play with confidence, you can't fake it. You can't just say, I'm going to be confident. It's not a psych job for yourself.
Right.
It's a real thing. And
you have to have done the work to back it up.
Yeah. And if I can mentalize a whole piece, I feel much more confident, authentically so, in performing it. So it's one of the more difficult tools that I find, but it's also one of the most effective.
Yeah.
There's a breakthrough that's beautiful.
I find myself doing this just sort of throughout the day, while I'm washing dishes or whatever, printing my books, and and I don't tend to deliberately go through entire pieces that way, you know? I mean, to me, that's like I'm going to like, that takes like a much greater level of focus and like minimal distraction, you know? I
Right.
think. Um, but, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, I know like, if I know that I'm going to be performing a piece, right? And it's not just something I'm practicing just for the sake of learning something at home, you know? If I know I'm going to be performing it, I don't want to have a single spot in the piece that has any uncertainty floating around it. And I think that this kind of practice, you know, this is very like away from the guitar sort of practice. I think
Totally.
this is the thing that really um, uh, it will helps you check for what's uncertain, um, but also, like you said, it just reaffirms uh, what you're confident on in the music. You know, you want to get to a point where you can't screw it up. But yeah, I mean, generally, you know, throughout the day, I'm just kind of like running stuff in my head. Like my big thing this year, right, is this concerto that I'm writing, you know, or have written, I guess. And I'm starting to learn it, and it's like, okay, I have to learn this monster piece in like 6 months and have it awesome and ready to go, you know, so that I can just bring the house down with it. And like that's for me, like that's the bottom line. It's not ready until I like all the uncertainty is gone about what I'm doing in the piece.
Right.
Um, so
Yeah, especially with concerti, um,
yeah,
that's really important. I find mentalization because there's so many distractions. You got the
hmm
conductor, you have the sound of this orchestra behind you,
hmm
the audience. You know, there's so many things that could pull you away.
yeah,
For me to have that so solid in my
yeah.
head.
And as I'm
Um,
working the parts, you know, the different sections, I'm I'm trying to maintain in my head a mentalization of what the orchestra is doing in those
Good.
moments, you know,
Yeah.
um, so that when I get there and start rehearsing with them, it's like, oh wait, what's going on there? I should know. I wrote it, you know, but like it's
Well, you'll be able to play with a MIDI rendition, right, of the
yeah,
orchestra.
yeah,
Yeah, that's very helpful.
yeah, which is, you know,
But it's better than not
it's better
having
than
it,
nothing. Yeah,
of
right.
course.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching. Once again, you can get a PDF of Jim's tools on his website, linked down below. If you have any thoughts, questions, or experiences you'd like to share related to anything we talked about, please feel free to leave a comment. In the next segment, we will be talking about separating the layers of the music and score perusal and analysis. All very important stuff. Thanks again. We'll see you in the next one.